What is up? What's happening, you guys, man? This is Nas Lee in the building, bro, and we're gonna do one takeaway for every NFL team, the NFC edition. So this is gonna be released before the Thursday night game. So like, anything happens before that, hey man, it just happens, all right. But this is released before Thursday night game. But here we go, man. All right, so for the Lions, what I want to take away from them is the fact that like Darren Campbell might just be a top 3 head coach in the league, bro. Like he is an amazing coach, and he's basically guiding, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL right now. So honestly, like I really would be surprised if they don't make the Super Bowl this year, given how great they played. All right, so for the New York Giants, my one takeaway is the fact that like Brian Dable, in my opinion, is a good coach. It's just he's getting held back by Daniel Jones because, dude, he literally just scored his first touchdown at home in over 2 years. So like, I mean, I know some of it because of injuries, but still, like the offense, like it just don't look the same. Like it don't really look as good to me when he's on the field. Like that's just how I feel about it. Now on to the division rival, the Washington Commanders, and my biggest takeaway for them is like Jaden Daniels, man, he's been awesome, but there's a caveat though. I am worried how they're gonna look after the second half of the season, given the fact that Cliff Kingsbury's history with second half seasons, bro, like it has not been good. So I wonder how good they're gonna often gonna be throughout the season. So I just want to see it be good like the rest of the season. That's all I need. Speaking of offenses, bro, like for the New England Saints, bro, like biggest takeaway is the fact that like their car is washed, man. Like we basically overrated him for the longest time, and honestly, it's showing. And also, like Dennis Allen got fired too, so like it's for them. Like I've been asking for years, bro. Please rebuild because you're gonna be cap hell for the next few years anyway. So that's just my opinion on that. Now on to the division rivals, the Atlanta Falcons, and my biggest takeaway for them is like Kirk Cousins look like they haven't lost a step ever since he started recovering from the Achilles injury. Like honestly, like the wide receivers and Titans, like they put up career highs. Bijan Robinson looked great. I am a little worried about the defense though, because their pass rush is still not a pass rush. But like right now, though, the Atlanta Falcons offense is basically being what was advertised for when they had all those generational talents coming in for them. So I'm happy for that. Now going from the oldest QB in the NFC to the youngest one in the NFC, bro. Like my biggest takeaway for the Carolina Panthers is like them benching Bryce Young was the best thing that could happen to Bryce Young, because the last few games that he played, it's like the most comfortable I've seen him play in quite some time. Like I'm not even joking when I say this either. Like this is gonna be great for his development, and honestly, like if he continues to play like really well, like throughout the whole rest of the season, like there's no reason for him to be the franchise QB for him, like moving forward. So I'm happy for Bryce, and honestly, hopefully he pull out some wins like for the rest of the season. All right, so for the Arizona Cardinals, man, my biggest takeaway for them is the fact that like they are like the most inconsistent team in the league, if that makes sense. But like right now, they're starting to find their identity though, and that's really what they need, because if you don't have an identity in the NFL, like you're not gonna be as successful as you think. That also goes along with having a culture. So like, also Kyler Murray, he's putting together one of his better seasons since he's been in the league, and it's not really been talked about that much because they've been more under the radar. And like I'm honestly, and then they're first place in the division too. So like I kind of expected them to actually like battle for the division lead, but like this quickly though is like a little insane. So happy for the Cardinals, man, and hopefully they do good the rest of the season. Now for the Dallas Cowboys, yeah, my biggest takeaway from them is not that Prescott like not playing up to the potential, but the fact that like Jerry Jones really thought running it back with the same amount of squad but with less was actually going to work, because like, dude, y'all not having a natural running back is really killed y'all team big time, because y'all need at least a semblance of a running game to at least be respected. And plus, like now with Dak Prescott potentially being out for the rest of the season, like it's basically over for y'all. So like I would basically, just try to get like a high draft pick. My personal opinion, I'll start Trey Lance and see what he's got, but like really, like it's really a lost season due to like them roster building and also injuries too. Oh yeah, and it also goes without saying too that like Mike McCarthy is gonna be fired this year, to which he really should have been fired last year too. So that goes without saying, to be honest. Now for the Minnesota Vikings, my biggest takeaway for them is like Kevin O'Connell is, in my opinion, a top 7 QB, top 7 head coach in the league. Like he was able to at least get some out of Sam Darnold to where like he's playing the best season of his career like ever, and like even though he have his moments, it doesn't look like bad compared to the past Sam Darnold season. So he really proved to be in a top 7 conversation for top head coaches, and like also shout out to Brian Flores too. That defense is actually really great, so he might actually get himself a head coaching job somewhere next year, hopefully. Alright, so for the Seattle Seahawks, my biggest takeaway is the fact that like it's really more of an inverse for them, to where like Mike McDonald was supposed to be like the defensive coordinator for them, and like defense was supposed to be the best thing for him, but it's really the offense has been the most impressive thing for him. Because Geno Smith, if I'm not mistaken, is the first in passing yards right now, and it's really showing because DK Metcalf is having probably his best season ever, and then JSN is having his best season ever too with his second-year leap. So, but that Mike McDonald defense though, especially that run defense, has been bad. So like, I expect the defense to be better next year, given the fact that like that's kind of what it took for the Ravens defense to be better. But right now though, like they're in last place, but it's still a winnable division for them though. So I got faith in them. Alright, so for the Philadelphia Eagles, like my biggest takeaway for them is the fact that like even though they look way better than they did last year, especially before that National Funk they had, bro, like I ain't gonna lie, Nick Sirianni is proven to be like one of the worst head coaches in the league, because it's tough. It's time to be aggressive, and it's time to be like he's just not making the right decisions for like whatever reason, because you don't know how to balance that. It's really costing teams like any momentum, because big example really was last week where win against the Jags, where like they should have blew out the Jaguars, but it ended up going down to the wire because his questionable decision to like go for it on 4th down and this person not working, and then going for two at the touchdown too twice and failing. So like, yeah, Nick Sirianni, bro, like he's gonna get himself fired soon. I'm telling you that. Okay, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my biggest takeaway is the fact that like Baker proved to be a good QB, man. Like he's definitely having the best season of his career, and it's just a shame because the pass defense is not really as good as it should be. Plus, Baker Mayfield lost his wide receivers, and yet he's still playing really good. It just the record doesn't show it for real. Like honestly, like they still have a chance to make the playoffs. I truthfully believe that he's gonna steal a playoff spot for somebody. It's just very unfortunate because the injuries really cost them this year. Especially when you lose your top 2 wide receivers, one for the year, one for 4 weeks. Like, dude, that's insane. But Baker Mayfield, I'm gonna tell you this from last year, but I'm sorry I doubted you, bro. Like, I'm very sorry I doubted you. All right, so for the Green Bay Packers, my takeaway from them is Jordan Love, man. Like Jordan Love is the franchise QB. Like he makes throws that like he did the infusion of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre within the same person. Like he'll make those amazing throws that Aaron Rodgers would do, but then will make like a bonehead decision like Brett Favre would do. So like it's something that you gotta get used to, given the fact that like he throws a lot more interceptions than Aaron Rodgers does, but like he's willing to take the risk more than Aaron Rodgers would, to which that's honestly something I prefer. It might actually help them like get over the hump. Also, that defense is one of the best defenses in the league too. They lead the league in takeaway. So also Xavier McKinney is my defensive player of the year at the moment. So for the Packers rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, my biggest takeaway from them is the fact that like the offense been maintained, but it hasn't looked as good, given the fact that like just now Brandon Ayuk is out. That Christian McCaffrey's supposed to come back this week, I think, and then like Brock Purdy, in my opinion, has really been good, given the fact the way he's done, but like the records don't show for it, and it's unfortunate because that pass defense has really like been their backbone to where like why they kind of like been losing some of these games, especially for them to actually like blow the leads too that they have. So yeah, that's just how I see it. Now for the Chicago Bears, really my main takeaway from them is the fact that like they actually let Matt Eberflus in the building again this year, to where I haven't said before then that they should have fired him last year and got like a new head coach just to help develop Caleb Williams, to where they don't have to go through the situation where we have to fire him this year, then have him go through another head coach in the second year. So like really, basically what they did is basically what they've done for the last few years, to where they should have fired someone a year before, then they didn't. Then they basically let the young QB struggle again. So like, I don't know what the Bears doing, man. They have a good record, but like really, they might just fall off like second half of the season. That's really what I'm worried about for them. And then my final takeaway for the Los Angeles Rams is the fact that like them getting Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back was the best thing that could happen for them, because now like the offense starting to heat up a little bit. Defense it's been mid, but like it hasn't been too bad. But like Matthew Stafford, like in that offense gonna heat up now, to where like they might actually take the division, to which I predicted them to do this coming season. Like they might make a run like they did last year and actually win the division this year instead of like just making the wild card. So they're gonna be one of the more dangerous teams to play against. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like that.
Ballin' on the bitch like love my James. Skinny gas pedal, got flame. Touch all night, gotta call him